We're gonna open up a terminal and then we're gonna cd into our project directory. So that is Pharmachain, and inside that Pharmachain app. And then we're gonna run Docker containers. So I'm gonna provide a wildcard to do all the containers we have. So we're removing all containers out here using the wildcard, and then I'm gonna run a bash script to start our Docker containers using Docker Compose. So it's gonna fire up our Hyperledger fabric. So it's starting out and doing some processes. And boom. So it's done. Now I'm gonna do like node register admin to use node to register admin, and I'm gonna run yarn dev to start our application. So it's gonna be live on port 5000 and doing some processes and compilation. So let's wait until it's done. It's gonna take a while. Meanwhile, it started a process on our Google Chrome for port 3005. This is gonna be our front end. Meanwhile, this is our Go code and the chain code. So we have different methods, and also we are seeding the information on the runtime. So basic information like seeding up our Hyperledger fabric. And now the application is live. As you can see, this is Pharmachain and blockchain, and you can click verification to verify a drug or product. And we're gonna now quickly log into admin 0. And we have the super admin panel. We have distributor, chemist, admin, and activity log. So let's quickly create an admin. I'm gonna give it a name, admin name, and it's a CNIC, that is identification, and email. Then we click add. Now user added successfully, and on the console we can see some activity. So this is the JSON that we have, and in the activity you can see this activity there as well. So we also receive an email on the email that we give, and we have this ID and password. So now I'm gonna go to admin, and you can see list of suspended, active and suspended, only active admins. So we have one that we created just now, and we have chemists, we have distributors and manufacturers. This is the seeding data I showed you before. I'm gonna log out now, and then I'm gonna sign in using the credentials in the email. So I'm gonna paste the username and then the password. So oops, I'm gonna paste now and login. So we have distributors, chemist, and admin activity log. This is like same access as a super admin. So we have all these 4 options, and you can go to profile, and you can also edit the profile. So now I'm gonna go to home, and then we have distributors, and you can see the information. You can filter out the distributors using their status, and I click suspend, and it's suspended in the distributors, so the status is suspended. And now we can also see it on the console level in our terminal. We have some activity going on. So now back to manufacturers, and I'm gonna log out, and then I'm gonna log in using manufacturer credentials that I already have, and we are as a manufacturer, and we have distributors, transactions, and products. And I'm gonna log out now, and I'm gonna sign in as a distributor. So as a sign, oops, it's incorrect username. I believe that is let's scrape from admin. So we're gonna go to distributor, and it's dist0. Sorry for that. So I'm gonna log in as dist0 and incorrect username. That's strange. Let's go again to distributor, and yeah, it's suspended. So I'm gonna click activate. I'm sorry for that. That was suspended, and yeah, we have activity in terminal, and now I'm gonna see the status is active. So we can now go to profile, and I can also edit the profile as I told you before, or I can update the password, the identification, and the email. So I'm changing the number, and I'm gonna put it in the same password. So let's rename that to 2, and we're gonna put some uh, password. I believe that will be fine. So we're gonna copy and paste, and yeah, so we have some kind of like validation of minimum length, and I'm gonna update. So it's updated, and successfully updated the profile, and the name is also updated. On the console level, we can see some activity going on with our Fabric client. And now I'm gonna go to log out, and before we go to home, and I can see the activity as well, that the new admin activated, updated profile with everything, logging out. And in the manufacturers, let's log out now, and then we're gonna sign in as a manufacturer, and we can also see the activity going on that runs to select the query to fetch the information. So we have different options to create a product and transaction and distributors. So let's quickly add a product. I'm gonna add Panadol 10 milligram with a small description about the product that you can have. So it's like Panadol tablet. The asset type is medicine. We're gonna put in price. So around, we're gonna put, let's say, $10. Quantity we have is 10, and yeah, carton capacity, packet capacity, and we add it. And in the console, we have activity going on, and boom, we have it here as well on the front end. And this is the information that we just put in. So yeah, now we already have a distributor, so we can see some activity over here to fetch the information that is going on in the console. So here's the distributor's detail, and we have the license number. So that for the assets, transactions, products, we are going to the distributor. So there is no data display. I'm going to quickly add a batch of Panadol that we just add with its manufacturing date and the expiry date that we have. So let's, okay, we're gonna have some problem. We're gonna put in like 2023, and the carton quantity can be around, let's do 3. Yeah. So yeah, the activity is there on the console level. So we've been adding this, communicating with our Fabric client, and yeah, here we have different assets, and you can see the base ID, the carton ID that is generated by the system, and we can show the history. So we have this transaction history about this asset. So let's go to transaction, and then we're gonna, okay. So let's go to distributors, and we log out. So I'm gonna now sign in as a distributor. Dist0, it's enabled now, and boom, I can see some assets that are owned by me as a distributor, and I can see the list of all of them in a data table that you can sort on runtime and paynet. So here's the information for that specific. You can see the history, the transaction that we just created, and the asset ID, the manufacturer, and the distributor. So here's the owner name, and as a distributor, I will be enabling and enrolling a chemist. So we have some activity on the console about adding the chemist to our distribution, to Life Pharmacy LLC. So now we can scroll down. So yeah, we can create a transaction like for assigning it to the chemist. And in the terminal we have some activity, and now we're gonna go to our asset, and so here's a edit page for distributor profile, and now I'm gonna log in as the chemist itself. So I'm assigned one asset. So here is the owner, that is Life Pharmacy. So chemist the owner as the distributor, and here's the transaction. We have the manufacturer, the distributor, and then the chemist. So the history of product is being tracked, and now we can create a transaction to assign it to a customer. So I'm selling it to, for example, Ollie, and then I'm gonna give it some number. And yeah, that will work with the product ID that I can grab from the asset. So here we have the product ID, and then we're gonna do the transaction. And we have some activity on the backend, on the console. So let's log out now, go to the verification, and I can put in the product ID, and here's the detail of entire transaction, the manufacturer. So we have this asset ID, we have the distributor, then we have the chemist, and then we have the end customer in our transaction. So let's grab the other ID, and this is not sold to anyone yet. So we can track the history, but it's not sold anyone. And if we go back to the old product, we can see the history as sold to a customer. And we can click report. And I bought this asset, but this is recording with some other customer, and you can report this, you can give it a reason, the date, and you can send the report. And if we go to our email, and we have an email, I'll just refresh. So we have an email for problem report, and here was the message that we received. Okay, so I can log in as a chemist And in the transactions and the customer returns, I can, for a product ID, I can grab the reports. So let's quickly go back and paste and we click for the return. And on the back end, it's doing the querying, and then we have over here show history and the transaction. We have a transaction that's sold to the customer. So we click return, and so I'm gonna scroll up there. I'm gonna log out, and I'm gonna log in as a distributor. So we have the list of assets here. So that was, I believe, number in the thread tape. Here we have. So if we scroll down and then we check the transaction, we have it sold to the customer, and so the distributor can track its transaction history. And if we click returns, we have some operations performing on the back end. And now we're gonna log out, and we're gonna log in as a manufacturer. So we have a list of all the assets here. So I'm gonna go to the last one, and I can see let's scroll a bit, and yeah, I can see the history all the way to distributor, to chemist, to customer, and from chemist, and all the transaction histories that have been happening for this specific product. So I can track all the way from manufacturing to the end customer. So this is the interface that we will be dealing with. Now I can go to the first page. I have the list of all assets, and for this specific asset, we have the carton ID that I'm going to copy, and the transaction to this distributor, I can give it this ID, and I'm going to update, do the transaction. And for that specific asset, we can add some carton manufacturing and the expiry, and we can add let's do 17. Yeah, let's add the quantity to 1. So I'm gonna click add now. And yeah, we're gonna click add. So we can make the quantity 2. Yeah, now it's there. So we have some minimum validation, minimum quantity, and this specific, we can go to distributor, and we can enroll the distributor. But yeah, it's already enrolled, so I can go as a distributor, and I log in, and I've been assigned a new asset. So we're gonna now log in as admin 0, super admin, and I can see the list of distributors, the chemists, and the activity. So now I will be going and signing as a manufacturer, and we have the asset assigned. So let's log out and then